Well, hello, my beautiful Pisces. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with your monthly reading for August 2025. I've already cleansed your space and I've meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, of course, you see the guide chimes have been reinstated, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Pisces, this is your monthly reading for August. I can't believe we're here already, but here we are. Time really is flying on by there. Now, I don't know if you noticed with the Gaia chimes, very peaceful energy actually. So I feel you are protecting your peace of mind this month, but also there was this energy of something not really wanting to end. So perhaps you're going to be enjoying something that you don't want to come to an end there. I also felt this energy of privacy and rest and intimacy and kind of like a deeply reflective energy. That's probably because your 12th house is influencing you this month, but there's going to be a little bit of an inner battle because we are in fabulous Leo season, and that is a time where you're encouraged to shine your light and take the center stage in your life. You know, this is all about leadership and empowerment. So August will encourage you to be more flamboyant. Enjoy yourself, be bold and daring and motivated to accomplish so much by ticking all the priorities you have on your to-do list, and leave enough time to bask in all your glory with quality time to pamper yourself. For that 12th house will make you really want to, you know, stay at home, reflect on the meaning of life, focus on, you know, meditation, your spiritual journey and what's it all about and all of those things. But of course, you know, you'll also want to carve out time for your soul tribe this month too, because it's all about energy, confidence, creativity, vitality, and of course, self-expression. Being unapologetically you, which puts you on course to attract more positive outcomes in your life. Now, this month is governed by the sun. So your focus will turn to your personal identity, your courage to pursue your dreams and passions with a heart-led purpose. And August will align you to not just lead with love and positivity, but to seek out more fun and adventure. I mean, you're starting with the Lover's card there. So this means that you are following your passions, following your heart, focused on relationships. I mean, your 7th house is influencing you at the end of the month there. So of course, you're focused on the people you really care about, you know, people in your everyday circumstances, the people that you have alliances with, or maybe just the people that you interact with and who's got your back and who supports you and all of those things. But, you know, this is a month that you will lead with this sense of seeking out adventure despite some of the challenges that we've been experiencing recently. August asks you to push back a little bit. I feel like you've been pushing back a lot. I feel there's been a lot of challenge there, and you're, you know, holding it all together and still bringing your A game despite the pressures. But, you know, this month it will kind of influence you to peacock your wonderful self, you know. Perfect month for a getaway. I mean, look at that. We've got, it's almost like these two cards are literally your 12th and 7th house. Okay. Hermit energy, definitely 12th house. And then, of course, the 7th house there with that Lovers card. So there will be a little bit of an inner battle going on with you, wanting time alone, wanting to integrate, you know, asking the bigger philosophical questions. No desire to have on the surface conversations this month. I feel like you're very sensitive and you are getting to the very crux of the issue, the core of the issue there. But of course, this is a perfect month for a getaway if funds allow. Any time away, whether it's like a vacation or a staycation, it will really give you the time and space you need to assess your personal direction. And, you know, you got that Justice card there. So this can indicate you're doing what you feel is right for you at this time. You know, you're making some adjustments in your life and, you know, you will start to focus on your life philosophy, your belief system, and be ready to reinforce any structures in your life on your return from any vacation or just temporary time out to remain on target with your goals and dreams and make great strides forward. Now, we do have Mars moving into Libra on the 6th of August, which increases your zest for life by doing more things that you love. Got that Lovers card there. You're looking at your choices, your options, a diary jam-packed with curious events, whether that's with others or on your own. Invitations coming in spontaneously to encourage you to, you know, come out to play. It's a perfect time to fall back in love with your life again because the planetary alignments are just a little bit easier this month. Don't get me wrong, it's not going to stay that way for a while, but I want you to be aware that, you know, we will be able to catch a bit of a break at some points in August there before we move into September. But this is a time to really romance your life a little bit more, or even open yourself up to accepting a soulmate into your life if you're single. Also, existing relationships reignite that spark, that sensual spark and closeness. This month brings people together. Friendships deepen during this period because it's all about unity. Now, the Lionsgate portal is also currently activated, but it will peak on the 8th of August. Okay, that's when the Earth, Orion's belt, the star Sirius, and the Sun, which is currently in Leo, of course, activate this very powerful 8-8 portal there, opening up a very transformative energetic flow to connect you to higher vibrations. And this alignment facilitates the opportunity for you to manifest your dreams into reality, but of course using inspired action, because all of your proactive hard work so far, it really starts to deliver tangible results. Now, on the 10th of August, it sees a very powerful planetary parade. 6 planets align, reinforcing these manifestation opportunities. And of course, astrologically, there have been so many drastic changes this year. I mean, even over the last couple of years, it feels really hard that we've been just constantly going through changes and cycles and transitions, and it's hard to catch a break, and it's been a bit of a bumpy road. And the first 2 weeks of August may actually feel like a bit of a gear shift as more positive energies try to flow in. They are trying, believe me, but you know, you're going to benefit a lot because we do have you know, Jupiter in Cancer energy, and any water sign will benefit more from that good luck there. But whenever we have Mercury turning direct, you know, you'll take charge of your life with clarity and make greater advancements in the area of life that you are investing your energy into. And of course, that direction occurs on the 11th of August. There is Mercury turning direct there. So anything that's been blocked or on hold, or you feel like you've been frustrated and not moving forward or seeing results in, it will start to positively shift. Now, for stargazers out there, Jupiter and Venus get up close and personal on the 12th. You know, it'll look great in the sky, but it also offers an auspicious day to attract better luck, receiving good news, mending any issues or complications, and really harmonizing your life. And on the 22nd of August, we have a black new moon occurring in the sign of Virgo, which offers a very practical, grounded focus to get more organized. So, you know, that's going to be great with you moving ahead with your goals. However, it clashes with the planet of chaos and plot twist Uranus. I mean, of course it does. Why wouldn't it? So there may be some unexpected surprises, not necessarily negative. I want you to be aware plot twists can be really positive, but you'll need to navigate this at the end of the month. Jupiter, planet of good luck and abundance, will endeavor to take the edge off any of these plot twists so that they can be working in your favor. And of course, on a global scale, and please fast forward this part if you really don't wish to hear it, I did mention in July's forecast that Mercury retrograde would play havoc with technology and internet security, and we saw major power outages across Starlink, and some of the well-known brands experienced cyber breaches. Now, Mercury retrograde does not play nice, okay, and this one certainly didn't, and the post-shadow will not clear us all until the 25th of August. That's why I'm mentioning it, so be mindful that we may see more of the same. Strengthen any passwords if you feel the need to, and save down important work documents, statements, financial contracts, things like that. Nothing to be paranoid about, of course, but it's always important to be mindful. And I did mention in the yearly forecast that this year would be all about fire and water due to the planetary movements. And unfortunately, we've seen, an increase in events regarding fire and water. I mean, it's like catastrophic across the board globally, and that major seismic shifts would occur this year around the Ring of Fire and activity in the Pacific Ocean too. Now, that part of the world is very active anyway, but we have already seen unusually high activity. And unfortunately, even though we had some big major activity only a couple of days ago, unfortunately, I do envisage more to come. I wish this was not the case, and I really do not buy into the currency of fear, but I have to acknowledge, like we all do, that landscapes are shifting. Mother Earth is a little bit peeved, and of course, we've seen an uptick in extreme shifts as well as erratic weather events globally. So August may encourage global conversations centered around weather systems changing direction, actually changing direction, and jet streams becoming unstable. Ocean patterns altering, significantly impacting the topography due to major seismic activity. I feel there's like a landscaping going on, a shift, a revamp of the earth somehow. And of course, we will be navigating these changes. And August is basically a month of managing, and also releasing the buildup of pressure to observe and find motivation to build for the future. And this is both globally and personally, of course, because, August is a fiery month. It is, a fire sign, Leo. So this is about managing stress levels. It's about being creative, reigniting that spark. But also, it's a powerful month to help you align with what brings you joy and offers you a platform to be more sociable, more present with the people around you that you care about and in your activities. But at the same time, make major advancements to achieve your personal goals and embrace your inner fire, your playfulness, and basically be more you. This month says, be more you, my beautiful Pisces. And looking at the energy here, I mean, we've got some people going on here. We got Two of Swords as well, Three Wands, a lot of expansion going on in your month there. Two of Cups, aligning with the things that you love. I mean, if you are looking for a relationship, there's definitely, a contract between you and a person coming on in. Also, I feel for some of you, you will have the option of two. Okay, we've got a Seven of Swords there. It's in the resistance position, so I feel this is a quest for independence. We've got the Seven of Cups and we got the Knight of Wands. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is some of you, and don't shoot the messenger when I say this, it feels like you're locked onto a goal, but at the same time, you've got so many things going on. Sometimes you feel a bit scattered. It's like you've got so much, you feel sometimes overwhelmed. So I feel this month is a month about prioritizing, okay? Because we have the Lover's card. There's an energy here with this card, and I don't often feel it, but I mean, of course, this card used to be called the Choice card. But what I'm seeing here is there are some things that can be done another day. Everything doesn't have to be done all at once, okay? So because you have that Seven of Cups, I kind of like the Seven of Cups because it means you got options. It means that, you can focus on one thing, then come back to it and do something else. And it just feels like you're like turning any doubts or fears or even like feeling scattered, you're turning it into a power of possibility, and that this is your opportunity to dream of what it is that you would love to have in your life. But because the Seven of Cups indicates you may be overwhelmed with the amount of things that you feel you have to complete this month, I feel like you're going to approach it in a really nice pace. You're on top of things. I feel this is about like focusing on what's critical first, of course, and not putting too much on your to-do list every day so that you feel overwhelmed when you don't complete everything. So if you've got 10 things to do, perhaps prioritize 7 things. Get those 7 things done and be like, oh, I got plenty of time to complete the other 3. But if you put 10 things on that list and then you only complete 7 things, sometimes we start to feel, oh, I let myself down. I said I was going to do 10 things. I did 7. I mean, I need to be better. I need to be more organized. I need to be more disciplined. I need to just just showing up. You know, we put pressure on ourselves, and I feel like you're trying to quieten these intrusive thoughts and not be so hard on yourself, because this means you're leading with love and compassion, and that is compassion for self as well, especially when it comes to your goals, your dreams, and the things you care about. Okay, so I feel it's important that you're leading with passion and love this month, of course, and you have many things to do. You're going to complete them all. There may be one project here where it feels like somehow you have to wait for somebody else. So it could be that you're waiting for news. So if you're applying for something, perhaps you may be sending something off, and then you have to wait to see if it is, finalized, or whether it is approved or passed or whatever it is. It feels like you have to wait for something, but it is a positive wait, okay? Because we got 3 of Wands. It's like, you know, things are happening for you. 3 of Wands means you're aligned. It also means that you're in harmony with your heart's desire, especially since your first card is the heart's desire. And this can also indicate, you know, that you're making really good choices right now, and the wait will bring very fruitful results. 3 of Wands leads onto the 4 of Wands, which means there is success in your future, but it feels like you're in the planning stages of something. So I feel this month is all about your long-term goals and all the things that you feel you need to do to get there, okay? But also, I have to acknowledge the Lover's card can indicate that you're focused on your relationships, people in your everyday, deepening partnerships and alliances. I mean, there may be a lot of events that are going on, you know, or invitations that come in, and you're like, oh, there's so much to do. What should I really do with who? So it could be with that Knight of Wands. You know, there is this energy, and this may be something that is showing up a lot for the collective right now. This kind of like same old thing, just a different day, almost like, yeah, Groundhog Day sort of thing. So it can be that, you know, you want to spend time with people that you care about, that you see all the time, but there's this desire to do something new. So it could be that you put forward like new events in different neighborhoods, or even in the same neighborhood. It could be that you want to just do some exciting new things, but you may be dealing with some people who just like it a certain way. And it can be that, you know, with that 2 of Swords, and there's 2 kings here, so it could be that you kind of agree to disagree. So it may be that they're like, okay, you know what, I really don't want to do this, but I'll come along. Just watch out for that, especially since we got that King of Coins and the King of Wands. I mean, I feel you kind of like win them over. You bring them to something new, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, but I feel if you are someone who's like, this is amazing, we should totally do this, and then you get there and go, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because you're excited about it, that's great, that's fine. But then that kind of like somehow closes this person down to not express themselves, like, yeah, it's okay. But if you just kind of like wait and watch and see how this person is reacting. This could be a family member who's really hard to please. You're not here to please other people, of course. I feel like you're aware that your happiness is not tied up in another, and you're not here to just, you know, provide entertainment and support and, you know, make life interesting and happy for another person. They have to find that within themselves. But there may be someone you are dealing with who is often hard to please. And it's almost like if you are nudging them out of their comfort zone because you're nudging yourself out of the comfort zone, you know, I feel the Hangman is to just kind of watch this person in this new environment or at this new event or something that really doesn't typically, you know, align with this person. You're going to realize that this person, they turn around suddenly like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you brought me here because this is amazing. You've opened my eyes with something. So I feel like you introduce someone to something this month, and they're just going to change their outlook or change something about themselves that really kind of deepens your connection with this person. So it could be a parent type figure who, you know, likes what they know, knows what they like, and gets stuck in a routine, kind of likes to go to the same places, and you may suggest something new, and they're like, you know what, no. And you're like, oh, that's a shame because I got 2 tickets, and I was really hoping that you'd come along with me. And then they go, oh, you know what, all right, I'll come. I probably won't enjoy it, but I'm just going to let you know that. And you're like, okay, it's fine, you know, just, we can leave early if you don't like it, sort of thing. And then suddenly they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So that's really random, and of course, it's just something small there, but I feel it's something you will encounter. The Lover's card is an indication here, especially with this card. It can be that you are looking at cycles that play out with people in your life. And maybe you are detaching from someone who perhaps is a little bit wishy-washy because you've got that 7 of Cups, someone who never commits to anything. I feel like you may be kind of like acknowledging that, oh, you know what, I'm just done with this. So you may be evolving away from a friendship, which can be a little bit sad at times. But I feel that this person will attempt to find a solution. It's almost like when you start to withdraw, and it's not a game, but as soon as you start to withdraw with that Hangman and the Seven of Swords, which is like, you know what, I'm going to just go independently and do something and just like not bother. You're phasing yourself out of someone's life is what I feel here. And I feel it changes the dynamic. And with that Two of Swords, I feel this person did not see that their actions were having an impact on the relationship, but I feel like they endeavor to be better in the future. So I feel there's a course correction on this person's energy. But again, let's bring this back to you, because it's almost like this card wants to align with your 7th house and think about things outside of yourself, like other people. So maybe you've been giving a lot of yourself to others recently, and that Seven of Cups indicates you're feeling a bit drained. So now you're trying to prioritize your own needs a little bit more and reignite that spark. But you know, the Lover's card is a choice card. So I feel there's this energy of choice going on. I mean, you do find clarity in order to make the right decision, because the Justice card is there. So if you're having a bit of a conundrum right now and you're having to choose, I mean, for some of you, not all of you, but some of you are having to choose between people in a argument or in a relationship. So if you have two people interested in you when it comes to love, you know, I feel there's one who's very passionate, very sensual, a lot of chemistry there. But I feel this person, you know, they are someone who is not good with detail, shall we say. So they live in the moment. But the other person is very true blue. Doesn't mean the other person's not honest and loyal. It just means that the other person, you know, with that King of Coins there, there's someone who pays attention to the detail. The little things matter to this person. They're very thoughtful. They want to build a life. So it can be that you are having to choose between two people. If that's you, of course, Two of Swords, I would be a little bit mindful of that. The perfect answer will come to you, but you may need to remove yourself from both in order to really see who you miss the most first. Okay, again, it's not a game, but I do see that because you have that Two of Cups there. So if you are someone who is kind of lucky enough to have a lot of people, you know, attracted to you and wanting a relationship with you, I feel it's really important that you take back the power and recognize, because, you know, the Lovers can be literally the Lovers, and Seven of Cups is a commitment issue. It can indicate that you are non-committal on, you know, choosing between two people, but you know you need to make a choice. So if that's you, I feel August is the month where you make that decision, okay? And you may leave sitting on the fence on the cusp of August, but I feel you very much make a decision at the end of August there, okay? So with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to move away from that energy. I feel this is you kind of like detaching from cycles that have played out in your life in general, because cycles have made you feel a little bit empty, or like that you've been enabling something. So I feel like this is a chance to seize the day. It is an opportunity to kind of like put an end to it. You know, I also feel with, sorry, this was the Seven of Cups. This is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is like you want new things. So you're detaching from perhaps old things that don't resonate with you, or maybe even familiar things that don't resonate with you, because you feel this desire to do something new, because it has been a little bit like you've been on autopilot, or you're exhausted and drained, and you're like, you know what, it is just the same old thing. So what else? So I feel with this card, there's something awakening within you where you're like, I want more adventure. So I do feel this month is going to be filled with events, with people, different areas, festivals, music events, you know, maybe even pop-up events there. But this Knight of Wands is for you to kind of like enjoy yourself and also be very goal-oriented. So I feel like you do have a lot on your plate, but the things that excite you are going to get your attention a lot more, and you're going to make major headway on that. Very creative month for you, but this is a card of being independent, being headstrong and unstoppable in your spirit and your decisions and your desires. And I feel this is about you kind of like trusting your vision and running with it, manifesting, but also taking action to create something in your life that is long term. So if you think about the Lover's card, especially since your 12th house, it is the deepest part of your chart. You'll feel more sensitive there. You know, you're going to look at your commitments to others, commitments to yourself, how your commitments to others sometimes drain you, but because you care, you're invested and you're loyal. You know, it doesn't mean you're detaching from those people. It means you're carving out some space for you. But also, it can be that, you know, this is a kind of period where you are like looking at something that has played out for some time, and you desire a little bit more privacy, or you're removing yourself from this. And the Knight of Wands is like, you know, you just want that spark. Where is it at? It just feels like things have been the same for a long time and you just want a little bit more adventure. Some of you, this may be like you traveling. So you may be trying to decide where you want to go, and your heart is yearning to go in a certain direction to a certain destination, but perhaps something else calls you last minute, because this is a card of being more spontaneous. You know, maybe you are looking at how people have certain expectations upon you this month, and you may be doing something totally different, and then people have to really adjust to how you're kind of like doing something a little bit wild. This is you rewilding yourself, okay? Now, in terms of work or career, I mean, looking at the energy, I was mentioning the 12th house. When you connect it to the Lover's card, this can be that you're manifesting, because the 12th house can connect to the law of attraction, manifestation, personal development, growth, but you're drawing something in. You're withdrawing with that Hermit energy in order to draw something in that you're reaching for at this time. And because you have the Two of Cups, that means that you shall have it. It shall be manifested. The thing that you see in your mind, you shall have in your hand. And that's why you've got that Seven of Cups there. It's like, what's the vision? What is it? Sometimes we have to find a way to quieten the noise, because Seven of Cups can mean that there's so many distractions or interferences that cause us to look in different directions. And now it's about your focus. Now it's about drowning out the noise so you can be locked onto a goal, a vision, or something that you need to do for you so you can move ahead with purpose. So I feel a lot of you, you know, there's infinite possibilities. I mean, look at that. There's even an infinity sign there. This is your time to use your imagination. Dream big. I feel like you're actually questioning your dreams right now. It's like, okay, things have reached a certain plateau where things are kind of like at a level that feels like, okay, well, it's just the same old thing, just a different day. Maybe I should dream bigger. Maybe this is an opportunity for me to visualize, you know, something so monumentally huge that it seems impossible, but it's not impossible. It seems impossible until it's done, and I can see that you're going to complete it and get it done, whatever that is. Some of you, this could be that you want to be an entrepreneur. So you may be starting up a business this month, or you may have a creative vision that you want to run with. If you're already like a creative person who has your own business, for example, I feel the pace will quicken this month, and there's a lot more opportunity for money. And I also see, because a lot of you have got King of Pentacles there, if you work for a company, there is a strong potential for two options come on in where you could sign contracts on this. This could be two roles. One is very fast-paced. One is very creative. I feel like you make it your own. I feel there's an energy of excitement about it. But the other role is more duty, responsibility, you know, administrative or managerial, where, you know, it feels serious. So I feel you may have to make a decision on that if you work for a company, but you'll be offered two. So this could be promotion vibes here for a lot of you. The Three of Wands, it's like you're going to look at it from a perspective of which one expands on opportunity. Which one is like a dead-end role where it doesn't go anywhere. It may give perks. I mean, it may be wonderful. But a lot of you, if you're looking at expansion this month, it can be, you're like, okay, which one can I flourish in the most? Which one gives me an opportunity to springboard further and reach even higher up the ladder of whatever it is that you're doing right now, okay? So, I mean, you've got two kings here. I will pull cards on them because it can be there's two people, okay? And it could be two people at a stalemate. We do have that clash with Uranus. So for some of you, it's this energy of you don't want to be in the middle of anyone's argument. You don't want to have to choose sides. So I feel this card can be a non-committal kind of energy. And when your 7th house is influencing you and the 12th house is influencing, it can indicate any clashes. It feels like you are making your presence scarce because you don't want to get involved in the argument, or you may be drawn into it in order to mediate. And that's not a position you really want to be in because you care about both parties. But it can be that, you know, you envisage them coming together and finding, a midway point, an agreement or a compromise. And for some of you, this could be parental type figures, or it could be siblings. I mean, it could be someone at work. It just feels like there's a conflict or clash of personalities. And I'm just looking at this energy that you don't want to get in the middle of it. Because of the 7 of Cups, it tells me that you're not directly involved. It feels like somehow you're detached from this, but it will find a resolution because the Justice card is there. For some of you, if this is at work, it could be that it goes to HR. It could be that you witness something okay? And you have to give your piece on what it is. And you're like, oh, you know what? I don't want to be drawn into this, but I did see this. It's my perspective. And I feel like you're not really questioning your perspective because you're telling it how it is and you're impartial. But if you are involved in anything, especially in the working environment, it could be that you're taking something to HR because you feel that perhaps someone is not doing something they should be doing. This is if you work for a company, because the Seven of Swords is there. Okay, Seven of Swords, it can be connected to someone who's abusing their power or someone who is coasting, someone who's lying, or, covering for someone in some way. So it could be that you are kind of, I don't want to say a whistleblower because I feel like you're waiting and seeing, but you may be drawn into this or have to get involved in what you witnessed. I mean, some of you may actually, and I hope this is not the case, but some of you may witness an accident or something out in the public. It feels like it's not connected to you. You're detached from this. It feels like it's something that you see, okay? But because you care, I feel like you may want to hang around and be someone who gives a description of what went down, and it can be that you'll be called up later on. So you may even witness some sort of conflict, road rage or something. There's two very strong individuals here and there's a Two of Swords there. So it can be you witness something that you're like, oh my gosh, what is going down here? How's this going to end up? And we've got, a legal card here. So the law could be involved. And it's that you may decide to give an account of what went down, or you feel that you should in some way, but also it's like you don't really want to get involved. But I want you to be aware that with that Three of Wands, you may be called up in the future to act as a witness for something. Okay, so with a lot of love and respect, that was very dramatic, but I feel it came through for a reason, so I have to honor that. Seven of Cups, personally, I would feel there is some big change here, and I feel like you're promising yourself to focus on the things that you're passionate about that help you advance. Okay, this is you locked onto your goals, persevering on something, even though it's hard, even though there's distractions. It can be that you're trying to look at your choices and see what it is that you're trying to avoid sometimes. Because, when there's something really important that sits over my head sometimes and I think, oh my gosh, it's so monumental, I'll do it tomorrow. I feel like I'm in a better state tomorrow, okay? And then tomorrow will come and I'm like, oh gosh, okay, suddenly I'm doing the cleaning. Suddenly I'm reorganizing. Suddenly I'm doing all the stuff apart from, and normally it's documentation. So a lot of you, it could be an administrative task, something you need to fill in or something you need to kind of send away or something. So I feel for some of you, there could be a deadline on it. You will complete it, but there's just this energy of what is it that you're avoiding or have been avoiding or meaning to get round to? Okay. Well, August is the month where you power on through it and get it done. A lot of you, it could be that you're applying for something or you have to complete some sort of administrative task like tax time, receipts. I feel like you're making headway. And this is a card of also being passionate and having a break. So I would say some of you are also trying to get everything done as quickly as possible in order to have a vacation, some time away. A lot of you have been yearning for some time away, but it always feels so far away. So when you come back from a vacation, I feel like you hit the ground running and you're going to complete so many things. You're going to be so proud of yourself, okay? If you are someone who is an independent worker, you have your own business there, yes, there feels like there's been a bit of a lull. Seven of Swords, because these cards are in the resistance position, okay, this can indicate that things will go back to some sort of normal. It feels like there's a release of a stuck period or, the industry picks up pace, as it were. So I do feel there's a faster pace here. And you may even decide if you are working by yourself, you may enlist the help of an accountant or maybe an assistant in some way. I would say there's a way that they do something and there's a way that you do something. You're in charge. If you're hiring these people, make sure you make them aware of, it's not that their place. I feel like you can work together, but there may be just a minor clash on how you do things. But with the Two of Swords, I feel like you agree to disagree and find a way to factor in each other's differences. And it benefits your business. So yeah, I'm just going to leave it like that. I would also say, and this is just coming through momentarily, and I mean, it's common sense, but because the Seven of Swords is there and the Hangman and the Hermit is there, this can indicate that, don't leave items unattended because there may be an opportunist who just you know what, I'll take that. They swipe it. This could be like a cell phone on like a table in a cafe, or it could be like you think you'll just leave that there in the office and go to lunch and you come back and you're like, oh, so it could be just an opportunist. Just be mindful. I mean, I'm looking at the energy. For some of you, this item may even be returned. That's not a usual message that I get. So it could be, for example, someone did something in error. So it could be that if like someone takes your jacket at work, you know, maybe you have a jacket that looks very similar to someone else's and they're like, oh my gosh, when they get to like home, they're like, oh my gosh, this is not mine. So it could be they come back to the office and be like, hey, I took this in error. This must be yours. That's mine. So it could be something like that. And it doesn't have to be an office, but I'm just highlighting, for example, what it could be. But coming back to this energy, I feel some of you could be working on a project behind the scenes independently to create more wealth or attract more money this month. And I definitely see here you're going to make major headway to the point that when you release it, I feel, well, number one, it's important to patent it because I feel a lot of people will want to try and copy your idea or maybe even steal your intellectual property there. Just be mindful. But I see that people are drawn to you. They want to collaborate. So, you know, if you are someone who is a creator, I would definitely say here that you're amplifying your money in some way, but also attracting people who want to collaborate. But the Hermit, this is definitely your 12th house energy, helping you focus when it goes into the upright on mindfulness, which will improve your focus. It'll help you with mental well-being. But also this could be that you're trying to seek answers on what's the meaning of your direction or your purpose right now. But also it can be that you're reaching for something that is a wish, not just inspiration, because the star can represent inspiration, but it can be you're wishing for something that you feel is out of reach, but the Two of Cups indicates you'll have it. You know, this figure on the Hermit has their hand out to reach for something, and the Two of Cups, they've got it in their hand. So I feel like you will kind of like through the law of attraction, but also through action, because there's a cause and effect here with that Justice card. I feel like you shall have it. There's a breakthrough here for you in some shape or form. Also, I feel a lot of you with this card in this position, you're really kind of aware of not repeating cycles with people or enabling certain behaviors. And some of you are trying to break a cycle for yourself. So it could be that when you feel a little bit under pressure or scattered, you reach for the quick fix. And now I feel like you're trying not to do that. You're trying to stay away. You're removing yourself from those things that, you know, sabotage you in some way or do not make you feel really great about yourself. This can be that with the Hangman, yeah, you're resisting it. And you're learning about it. Perhaps you're learning at how that it breaks down things within the body or makes you feel tired, or, you know, there is this energy coming out, and I'm not sure if it showed up for your sign recently, but it came up recently for someone. So it's coming up again, so I'll mention it. It could be that for some of you, you are having a very healthy item in your diet that perhaps reacts with something else that's healthy in your diet and almost like nullifies it, cancels it out, because it feels like the Seven of Swords is like it robs you of something that is beneficial. So you may be learning with that Hermit energy and the Hangman with the Seven of Swords of something that's been robbing you of energy or robbing you of a vitamin. So, for example, if you take, I don't know, zinc, right? If you take zinc or iron or something like that, perhaps there may be something, and I'm not a medical practitioner, and I'm not sure if this is true. I'm just giving you an example. I want to put that as a disclaimer. It could be that, you know, you need something like vitamin C in order to make it bind. But then you may be taking like some other supplement that cancels out vitamin C that you're taking because it has a reaction with it. And therefore, it's like all these really good things for you and your body are now existing together and kind of canceling each other out. It's like you never even had it in the first place. So you may be going, hang on a minute, why do I feel so drained? Or why do I feel so like out of kilter? I'm doing all the stuff, I'm eating really well, I'm taking supplements or whatever it is to reinforce, you know, good, healthy practices, and you're still not feeling on top of your game, as it were. So it could be that you identify something that actually cancels something you're having out. Okay, so that's random, but, you know, it's coming through there for you. Because I'm just seeing a lot of smoothies and a lot of like diet changes going on in the water. So a lot of you could be making some changes body, mind, and soul, but also in terms of the way that you digest things. The Hermit is an energy here, though, of needing a break, recharging your batteries. The Hangman is to really be deep in thought, learn new things. And because you have that Seven of Swords, I would say a lot of you are trying to be a little bit more independent. You know, because the Seven of Swords, the history of the Seven of Swords, it can indicate many things, but of course it means that the figure is trying to do something differently than everybody else. So they are removing the weaponry from the army because they want to find a solution. So I feel like you would be the sort of person who would want to find a diplomatic solution to a situation, and you may go around it a certain way, but other people are like, why are they doing that? You know, they're questioning you. But also this can be that you are doing something independently that is against the norm, and people just don't understand it. And you're like, you know what? I know what I'm doing. Because the Hermit is like, I'm established, I'm knowledgeable, you know, you're also learning new things with that Hangman, and you're like, I'm doing it my way. You may question it, you may try to put some doubt out there and, you know, put a bit of a spin on things, but ultimately I'm moving in the direction that I want to move in, and, you know, I feel like you're backing yourself. Okay. Also, I would say this energy is just be mindful of rushing, because you do have a card of fast pace there. Some of you may have to return to something because you either overlook something or you go too fast on something, and you need to correct something. You know, if we go too fast sometimes, especially if you're under pressure and you got so many things doing here, I feel like you may have to return to something and correct it, or there's an error made. For some of you, there may even be a question as to who made the error. So it may be that you feel that someone close to you's made the error and you're trying to like get them to admit to it, but they may not admit to it. You may have to call them out on it and then give them facts on it. And this again could be at work. It doesn't have to be with your family or your soul tribe. It could be a neighbor as well. It could be a landlord. It could be some sort of mistake that is made that has to be corrected, and someone refuses to acknowledge their part in it. And it's almost like there's a bit of a stalemate, but eventually they will come round and realize that they made a mistake and they will give an apology. Okay, so that's coming through there very strongly. But ultimately, I feel a lot of you are focused on your development, you know, connecting to your higher self, downloading a lot of knowledge, trusting your intuition. The Hangman can also indicate a lot of you have had many delays recently, or even blockages, and you just feel a little bit scattered, like, why is this happening? So you may be questioning, you know, the path, and suddenly you have a realization, a clarity on why there's been a pause. And if you are having a break, a vacation or a staycation, or even just a day off, you know, or a moment to think about things, a lot of you are trying to think about doing something independently. This could be financially independently as well, because to have this as a maverick entrepreneurial type card where you're like going your own way, you're passionate and you're driven, you know, with the Seven of Swords, this can be that, you know, you're not doing something that everybody's doing. And you're not conforming. You're living life on your own terms without people pleasing. And there's this energy of kind of like setting yourself free from maybe an outdated practice or a system that perhaps you feel is kind of like limiting you in some way. So yeah, I feel there is a new way of doing something here for you that will bring in a lot of money. And of course, it's not all about money, because you're governed by your 12th house this month, which is all about what's the meaning. You're seeking deeper meaning in things. And also you may feel drawn to kind of like remove yourself from situations, have privacy to work on things quietly behind the scenes, make some quiet adjustments in your life, because you are making some adjustments that are going to have a big ripple effect throughout your life. There's going to be a lot of success here, a lot of like reigniting your passion, your spark, you know, rediscovering who you are, as it were, and doing more things that you love and welcoming more things in. But I feel like you're in the planning stages of something in the month of August that will start to really take shape. And the universe is going to send you people and opportunities towards you in order to help you with any endeavors. So, you know, the Justice card can also indicate that you may find out a truth on something. Especially since you've got Seven of Swords, there could be someone has tried to hide something and they've not taken accountability on it, and you discover a truth or something that was hidden that is a truth, but it was a lie, if that makes sense. It's like you find out the truth on it, or perhaps someone made a mistake and they're trying to cover it. You discover it and you set to finding a solution about it. Now this card, on a more practical level, you know, you want to go out there and do all the things that you love and be more sociable and connect to new events, things that intrigue you, that help you feel more curious, find that magic in the everyday. But of course, you have responsibilities. So you could be looking at contracts this month, looking at direct debits, looking at, I would just say on the direct debit thing, and this has come up for 2 other signs, okay? And this is just a measure that not that there's a crossover collectively. It could be that you're all banking at the same place, right? Or the same establishment. But I'm picking up an energy here of some of you, you've got like an ongoing direct debit, something that you've had for a long time, because the Hermit's there. It means there's history with this thing, or it's like ongoing for a long time. Hangman energy, it's in the resistance position at first, and we got the 7 of Swords. So I'm being given 2 energies, but looking at the energy, I would just check your direct debits, okay? Because there may be a payment that gets taken out early, okay? And you have kind of got certain money in there. Make sure you've got more to cover it, because they're going to take it out early. And you may be able to contest this and find a solution to this to make sure that they don't do this ongoing. Because if you feel like all your direct debits are for like the first of the month, for example, and you're like, okay, you know where you're at. It's just running systematically on autopilot behind the scenes, because you have behind the scenes here, you have that 7 of Cups, which is like automatic. It's just ongoing, rolling, it just feels that it's, got a process, a legal process. There's a contract that you signed. My direct debit's going to come out on the first of the month for this product, this repayment, service, mortgage, whatever it is, okay? And suddenly it got taken early. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. I thought I had all the money in there to cover my bills, and now you see that one purchase or direct debit has been taken out earlier than it should be, and now you're kind of like in a deficit, okay? So just watch out for that. You will be able to contest this, and you may even get compensation on this. Okay, so just watch out for that. Also, there is a purchase energy coming through that some of you may have purchased something and you get something else in error. It was a mistake. It will be corrected and the person will apologize. They may even send you a little gift or a discount or something as an apology. I mean, at first you may feel frustrated and angry because that's not what you ordered, especially if it's a gift for somebody else, but they will endeavor to really correct this and make it right. Okay. Now, of course, the Justice card, it can indicate that you are cutting out anything that you feel drains you because you have the 7 of Cups there. So this could be drains your account, subscriptions that you don't utilize anymore. Perhaps you're actually coming to the end of a direct debit on something that you had as a higher purchase. So this will free up more money for you. But also I feel this is about you finding balance and harmony in your life. But also I would say this card is an energy of good karma. You know, I feel like you've been going through it for a while and things are starting to balance out. I feel like if you have to make a decision, you're balancing out a difficult decision, but you're making the right choice on it. Trust your intuition. There is new knowledge in the situation. But also I'm getting a very strong energy here that, you know, some of you, if you are going through a court case with a person, I feel, or even a company, I feel there's an energy here of some sort of stalemate position, okay, where, you know, there is a mediator. Perhaps someone has to come in between and deliver a verdict, but it's like the 2 of Cups, it feels like you're going to get kind of what you hoped for, okay, but the 3 of Wands indicates you may have to wait for the result, or you may have to wait for a better opportunity, like an appeal. So it's like, okay, I kind of got this, but I was hoping for this extra thing, or, you know, it's like you got what you kind of needed in the situation, but you feel somehow you were not fully validated, or you didn't fully get what you hoped for. So some of you may appeal, for example, and it will be ongoing, but I feel, you know, there could be a very positive outcome on the appeal there. But the Justice card is about leading with integrity, leading with truth. I feel you're the sort of person who would never think about doing anything dodgy or behind the scenes. You know, yeah, working in privacy, making some adjustments, because I feel this is you making some adjustments in your life right now to stay on track, to temper your energy and, you know, not be triggered by old cycles or people who try to sabotage. And I feel this is big, strong energy that some of you may be purchasing something. There's some sort of contract here. I mean, it could be that you're getting like a new deal or creating a financial structure or a legal structure to help you with something. Purchasing a house, for example. It feels like it's ongoing. So you may get the initial paperwork now, but the Three of Wands is like there's more to come, or there's some really great things to look forward to there. But the Two of Cups, you know, number one, this is love. So if you're searching for love, I would say, you know, there's romance here in this month for you. With the Justice card, I feel finally you've met someone who really aligns and has the ingredients that you're looking for. They're wanting to settle down, but also there's someone else who's, you know, a little bit more kind of flighty, someone who is, you know, passionate. But looking at your energy, there is this kind of like not wanting to commit to something right now until you kind of like wait it out or watch someone's actions. And I think that's the best thing to do, really, not rush into something. You see a person, they tell you who they are, believe them with their actions. But the Two of Cups basically means, you know, an agreement. So some of you may form an agreement or an alliance with somebody. It may be legal this month, and it's going to be really rewarding. Okay, something legally binding that benefits you and the other person equally. So this could be you partnering up in business or even a social media platform if you're trying to get some sort of endeavor off the ground or promote your work in some way. Two of Cups is to basically get reciprocal energy. So what you're putting in right now, you're going to get with the law of fate and attraction and good karma. You're going to get a balanced and fair exchange. And it's been a long time coming. So I feel, you know, you kind of leave this month on a high and looking forward to the next steps of whatever it is you're planning right now. And I feel things are starting to take shape and come together. And I also feel with this Two of Cups energy that there's an understanding of hearts and minds of people around you. So I feel like you could spend some good quality time with the people you care about, be a little more sociable and integrated. Maybe there's even an event that you'll celebrate at the end of the month or something that you're invited to where you kind of see a person you haven't seen in a long time. And it just sets you thinking about the past and where you're at right now and, you know, the good old days. Well, there are good old days to come, is what I see. And you'll probably only be triggered in that way because of that Mercury retrograde. You'll be finally out of that post shadow on the 25th of August there. So you'll be free of it. Three of Wands is to look to the future. It is basically to be planning something. So if you've taken a break with your nearest and dearest, you're back in your plans. This is a card of waiting and observing and paying attention, anticipating a delay perhaps, but actually not getting the delay. And I would say this is a card that sees you kind of like be in the right place at the right time to meet the right opportunities. This is a card of being a visionary and then being accomplished at your visions. I would also say because your 12th house is there, this is a healing card. You know, surveying your landscape, seeing the wins that you've had in life, seeing the losses. You know, life is all about ups and downs. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. And we can't win or lose every day. Sometimes it is just a meh kind of day where you're just on autopilot doing the stuff. But this is a month where you're like, but where's the magic? Where's the excitement? So you may be planning things that are really exciting to come. You may book them in this month. I mean, this is a card of getting away. Okay, you just have strong energy of like needing a vacation or, you know, having just had a vacation and had time to reflect on the next stage of life. You know, what are you working towards accomplishing? And you are on target. So you may have a very interesting conversation with a person, whether this is a person who is a professional to help you with your endeavors or whether this is, you know, a person there that you really respect in your family or in your soul tribe, because this feels like a head-to-head. You know, Two of Swords doesn't have to mean there's always a stalemate. I'm picking up energy right now on balance, but also on two people discussing. Two of Swords can be a discussion, a deep, involved discussion on, you know, a process. So I feel there is plans in motion happening. And it doesn't have to be gender specific. I know we got two kings there, but I'm going to pull a card because these can also be aspects of self. King of Wands is to be motivated and passionate and an influencer in your life, to take the lead in some way. And the King of Pentacles can be that you are implementing stricter financial strategies, you know, saving plans, looking at generational wealth, focusing on your 401ks, you know, looking at wills and probate and all of those things that will have a practical kind of influence on your life and your family's life at some point. So it could be that you're taking stock of all the kind of like duties that you have to do, legalities, structures. If you've just purchased a house, for example, you may be getting all of those things in place, insurance. And, I feel there's a strong element at the end of the month of practicalities, duty, and also paperwork, documents, filing, administrative stuff, applying for things, and, just kind of like taking stock on the day-to-day running of life to keep it smooth. So let me just pull a card on this King of Coins and King of Wands. I mean, we've got a Queen of Cups there. So again, it comes back to love. This could also be that you feel in the middle of two people that you really love and you want to have compassion for both. I've already discussed this. But I feel the Queen of Cups, because it is an energy that's connected to your water element, I would say that this is about the things that you love. There's things that you're passionate about. There's things that you have a duty bound to do. And I feel this is about spreading your time between both. And a lot of you may be kind of like being more disciplined because you have that justice energy. It's like there's things you got to do and you can do both. And both will inform your life. And, I feel this is about you kind of like romancing your life a little bit more to either bring in more money, okay, through your passions, or do something creative that makes money there. But because the Queen of Cups is there, it can also indicate that you're getting advice from people that give different viewpoints because you have the Hangman there, perspectives. So it can be that perhaps you're wanting to run off and do your dream, okay, and you're having discussions with the people you care about, and one person's like, yeah, go for it. King of Wands is like, get out there, do your passions. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be successful, which you are. And then you've got the King of Pentacles, which is a little bit more kind of like serious. Like, okay, you know what? I support what you're doing. I can see how it could work out. And, just be careful. I think maybe you need to get some structures in place. Maybe have a backup plan. And, I care. I just want you to be secure. So it can be that you're asking advice from people in the month of August, but ultimately the answers you seek are within you. Hangman and Hermit says, what does your heart say? What do you feel? And I feel like, you'll factor everything in, but ultimately you're going for your dreams and your goals, and you're going to make it a reality, and you're going to make it happen. There's a lot of success there. You're taking action. You're not just sitting back. This is a time for action. And I feel, of course, it comes off the back of a break, like you're inspired. You've managed to regroup your energy there. King of Wands, yeah, I feel like an influencer energy, running your own business, or actually having more energy because you have identified something that's been draining you. There, Two of Swords. I mean, the Two of Swords there, I would say, again, this is like taking a break as well. Maybe this is about like monitoring how you do things. Take action, take a break. Take action, take a break. Reflect on how far you've come. Ruminate, because I feel this is a big soul-searching month. But I'm going to pull a card separately on this Two of Swords energy because I feel like you're protecting your inner peace from other people's dramas, okay? Or you're trying to kind of like make sure that you don't have any distractions. I mean, the Two of Swords is a very interesting card because this can indicate that you're trying to make a decision and you feel like you only have certain options right now, when actually the universe offers you an even bigger opportunity to factor in. And this is the chance to dream big. If you know the Two of Swords, the figure is blindfold, so they're in their head about something, and they're trying to make a decision. They feel very defensive because when you're making a decision, of course, you don't want to get it wrong. And there's two kind of like stepping stones in the background, and then a huge island in the background. And it's like on either side, there's like these two stepping stones, and it feels like, oh, these two to get to that place, it would be nice. But it's like, what about the big dream? The one that's like ticking on in the background, the real goal. You can get there, and maybe there is a plot twist or a stepping stone or a different way of doing it. But I feel like you're doing it your way. And that's the one that's going to get you there the quickest, okay? So let me just pull a card on this Two of Swords. Queen of Wands. It keeps coming back with the Queen. Interesting. I always say the Queen is the power behind the throne. So perhaps you're assisting someone, or perhaps, you're giving advice to someone and you're in a really powerful position. But ultimately, Queen of Wands, Again, this is about following your passions. It can be about creative collaborations, strong friendships, expressing yourself, but also this is about peacocking yourself, getting yourself out there, allowing yourself to be seen. You know, you are a magnet. You're attracting attention in your career. You're attracting attention in terms of relationships and friendships. I feel there's an energy here of you knowing your worth and what you deserve. And this is about, you know, having balance and finding an equal exchange. A lot of you also, this can be that you are making a spiritual difference right now, that you are reigniting your spark and connecting to your higher self. And the Queen of Wands always has a black cat. Well, normally on every card, there's a black cat, which means, you know, you are in a lucky phase. Queen of Wands, it's very interesting. She has like a sunflower. So this means she only decides to go where the sun is shining. So where she feels happy. You're going to remove yourself from any places, spaces you feel drained or unhappy. You're leading with your own light. You're going to be very popular this month. A lot of people asking you to do things or wanting to catch up with you. But what do you want to do for you? Also, this can be a homemaker card. Normally, Queen of Pentacles is connected to homemaker, but Queen of Wands, often misunderstood. It can be that, you know, you're creating a fabulous home, a sanctuary where you feel like you really come to life in. So it can be that you're doing a bit of DIY, perhaps enlisting the help of some like service providers to help you align with what you want to do. I mean, we do have a Queen of Wands and a King of Wands there. So this is strong indication that, you know, if you've been having issues in a relationship with that Justice card, you can find a solution, or perhaps a mediator, counselor, marriage counseling or something like that will help you and your person remember what you fell in love with each other for in the first place. But also it can be that, you know, you're going to choose a person or align with a person that like really sparks that chemistry with you, that you feel passionate about. Let's find out what else is coming in for you so far. I feel more than anything you're locked onto what you love doing in life. You know, I feel that you're doing what's right for you. Yeah, I mean, even your last card there from this, well, it's not your last card, but the last deck there, it's number 6. You're leading with 6, which is, of course, the Lover's card. And we've got 6 here, Malakama. No, it's Anamkara, rather. I do apologize. I don't know what that means that I said. Malakarma is what I said earlier. I'm going to look that up, see if that means anything, because it just came out, okay? But it says Anamkara, unconditional love. So you're leading with unconditional love in a situation, soulmates, bond, devoted to something, being tender with someone, affection, best friends, you know, appreciation, unchanging, infinite love, timeless. So I feel, you know, there is a nice energy about this month for you. Sword and Scales, wow. White Rabbit, owning your time and a spark of curiosity. Yeah, this month is all about curiosity for you, doing what you feel is right for you, doing the right thing. So we have Sword and Scales, Justice card, energy right there. It says here, truth, justice, due process, by the book, appeal. I did mention all of these things. I mean, sometimes I'm like, where's my guides going with all these energies that are coming out? But it obviously applies to someone out there. By the book, making amends, law, integrity, cutting to the chase. Yeah, you're being really direct. Fair and square, fair play, equal, equity, even keel, legal matters, and hear me out. So someone saying, this is how I feel. 2 people head to head having a conversation. We also have old car, weary. Yeah, I feel a lot of you are feeling a bit drained, weary, but you're still showing up for yourself, bringing your A game. Also, of course, you may be looking into the legalities of retirement at this time if you're retiring, because it has retired here. I don't know why it says old car retirement. A lot of retirees that I, you know, come into contact with and know, they got more energy than me, you know, and they're doing so many things. So, you know, I'm questioning this car and this card because, you know, I feel this is an unfair representation. Society has built this kind of like preconception that when you hit a certain age, suddenly you become invisible. So maybe some of you have been feeling with that 7 of Cups invisible. Maybe something in your life has changed and you're feeling like a little bit like unseen, unheard, you know, unappreciated in some way, but I feel like you are going to be appreciated. You're going to be seen. This is a month to shine. Do your thing. But if you are focused on retirement, a lot of you may be getting advice regarding retirement, or maybe adapting to a new pace of life. You're off on adventures now. Maybe you're looking around to see who of your friends are retiring at the same time. If it's not the same time, then perhaps you are integrating in groups to build new friendships. But we have here bone tired, exhaustion, needs restoration, overdue. Yeah, I feel a lot of you like need a break. Okay, old habits die hard. So you're trying to break cycles this month as well, enduring the good old days. I think I mentioned like the good old days, but there are more good days to come. Family patterns. Yeah, you may be looking at family patterns back in time, stuck in the past, nostalgia. I mean, that's going to pass after the post shadow on the 25th there. So don't worry about that. I mean, we all get stuck in a cycle of nostalgia during a Mercury retrograde. I mean, there is a potential here for someone from your past to reach out, but I feel like you are like way past them now. I feel like you're empowered, and I feel this person may have ghosted you. That's what I'm seeing there. They may reach out again, reaching for your light because you're having a glow up. And you're like, no, my light is untouchable now. You're in the past for a reason. Bye. So I feel a lot of you are turning your back to the past. But we've also got White Rabbit there. So it says here, spark of curiosity. Yes, that's what this is all about. Spiritual awakening. Yes, you're going through that. Deepening your connection with your higher self. Heeding the call. It's time. You're taking action on something, researching it, inner knowing. Yes, trusting your own intuition. The dark to light at the end of the tunnel, going down the rabbit hole. I mean, there's so many things that we could go down that rabbit hole on sometimes. It's hard really to kind of like say, no, I don't want to see that. I don't want to, there's a lot of clickbait out there as well. It just starts you thinking. So I feel a lot of you are trying to protect your inner peace and not engage in that. But sometimes it's really hard to see. So you're kind of like bringing your worries into perspective there and waking from the dream. Yes, actually, yes, because you have a lot of awakening cards. The Hermit is to go through an awakening. And of course, so is the Hangman. And the Seven of Cups can be the dream. So it's very important to recognize, when we're at school, and if you're like looking out the window, you're a dreamer, you're visualizing all these things, and suddenly the teacher says, hey, stop dreaming. Get back to the facts of whatever it is you're reading. That happened to me a lot. I used to go into these visions. I didn't realize that I had certain gifts, and I'd see all these things, and I'd be just lost in it, suddenly magnetized. My eyes would be open, but, these visions were coming, and I always got in trouble. Like, hey, you're not paying attention. I was like, oh my gosh, if you could see what I can see that I don't want to see, then maybe, you would be like, I don't know. But my point being, people who dream, they see the vision. That is the first step in manifestation for anything. So be that dreamer. You are considered the dreamer of the zodiac, but now you are awakening from that dream and you're taking action on it. This is a great month to move forward. And I would say you're going to be inspired. Okay. So waking for, to move forward, waking from that dream. It's time. I feel like you are honoring your time and making great headway. Also, I would say, because the White Rabbit is there, they're always late for an important date. Okay, so I would say just be mindful of timing, leave a little bit earlier. There may be something, again, it could be something that you witness, as I mentioned. There could be something like some drama that occurs that you have to stick around and give like some sort of witness statement on. There could be a reason why, but I would say leave a little bit earlier for anything important like interviews. If you are searching for a job, I definitely see 2 coming through that I've mentioned already, but just make sure you leave in enough time because there are delays here. Okay, so I'm just going to go and get a trinket or ring before we close. So we have the Mask. Okay, so this is about you kind of like reframing or focusing on something. If you think about the Mask, it kind of like frames what you see to some degree. Okay, you can't see full periphery vision, as it were. It can be that, you're locked onto something with laser-like focus. But also this could be that you are being your wonderful, authentic self, and you're not adhering to anybody else's expectations. And of course, for some of you, it can be that you're going to a festival or, a fancy dress party or an event where you need to dress up and you're just going to have so much fun, okay, if that is you. Also, we've got an angel. So this means you are guided, you're protected and redirected as accordance to divine will and planning. So if you feel rejected from anything or anybody, always know it's because the universe wants more for you. You know, sometimes as humans, we accept less than we truly deserve and desire. And right now you've got cards of balance, of harmony. So the universe wants a sort of a reciprocal exchange for you at this moment in time. Trust the process. Feel like you're protected and directed at this time. So I will leave it there. I hope something resonates for you in some shape or form. A lot going on there. So of course it may not resonate with everyone because it is a general reading there, but the energies that are flowing out, please apply it to your situation, as it were. Okay, so thank you so much, my beautiful Pisceans, and love and light.